Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about which Pokémon TCG set is deserving of your time, your money, and your attention. Because you see, we've had, in the very recent past, we've just had a very exciting set recently. We've got another very exciting set coming up in a couple of weeks. And another very exciting set, which is going to be coming around, in a month or two. I am, of course, referring to Surging Sparks, which has just come out. Prismatic Evolutions, which is on the verge of coming out on the 17th of January. And then whatever Battle Partners turns into over here, I'm going to be having to use a Japanese booster pack here because we don't have an English booster pack or any of that. But we know we're going to be getting this same basic set because we always do. And I do think we got onto the point where this really needs to be talked about. So which of these three sets will we be focusing on? Not such an easy question. Now, starting off with Surging Sparks, of course, that set is out. And we know that this set is a very, very big deal. We know that picking up booster boxes of Surging Sparks has gotten, frankly, a little bit awkward. It is not as readily available as a lot of sets. And, if I'm searching around in the UK right now, I can find it on the Pokémon Center easily enough. But if I'm trying to find below MSRP booster boxes on websites, plenty of sets I can do that for. Surging Sparks is not one of them. But then again, part of the reason for that is that Surging Sparks is just a great set. And I think it's pretty clear at this point, we're all in agreement, Surging Sparks is a great set. Obviously, it's got the Pikachu in. That's like a $450 card. Right now, that is the big card in the Scarlet and Violet era. I'm not talking about from Surging Sparks. I'm talking about from every Scarlet and Violet era set. This is the big card. This is the big one. But let's not go pretending this is all the set's got going for it. Because the number 2 card in the set is the Latias. The Latias is still like a $250 card. It is still a very big deal. It is one of the top Scarlet and Violet cards, and it happens to be just a tad over half the price of Pikachu, but that is just talking about how great Pikachu is, rather than Latias not being hyped. And then the set is full of other great cards. Gold Pikachu is about a $130 card right now, as is the special illustration rare Milotic. Hydreigon's like an $85, $90 card. This is a set which is full, and I'm not just talking about value here, but in terms of value, this is a set which is absolutely stacked. It is a stacked set when it comes to value. But also in terms of playability, like Ceruledge, we need to talk about this more in the future. Ceruledge is becoming a top deck over in Japan. Ceruledge is absolutely legit. Archaladon went and won a big tournament in Japan after this set was legal. And then we've got things like Energy Search Pro, which has gone and made Gold and Go a top-tier deck again. We've got Pikachu itself, which is helping out a bunch of decks all over the place. Hydreigon, which is not top tier, but it is still a good fringe deck that is seeing some play, some love, and some success. And you add all of this up together, this is just a great set. And most of the time, I'd be looking at a set like Surging Sparks and going, well, the other sets surrounding it, they're not on the same level. Yeah, that's not where we are. In a couple of weeks, we get Prismatic Evolutions. It's not a main set, it's a mini set. And the thing is, playability-wise, we should be saying, look, it's a special set, it's a theme set, it's an Eevee set, blah, 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 blah. It's not going to make a big competitive impact, but that's not the point. And look, it's not going to make as big of a competitive impact as a lot of main sets, I grant you. But the thing is, we already know we're getting Regigigas. And Regigigas is going to make Lugia legit again. For Colorless Energy, it does 330 against the Terra Pokemon. It's great. Genuinely makes Lugia a way better deck than it was. We know we're getting Badoo. And Badoo here is a phenomenal card. Single Colorless Energy. And it I mean, it does 10 damage, but it stops your opponent playing item cards next turn. It's redonkulous. And then we got stuff like the EVs themselves. And again, the EVs aren't phenomenal, but we've seen enough of them, seen a bit of play over in Japan to know there is some potential there, like the Flareon, for instance. 2 energy, 130, but you get to accelerate 2 energy from your deck. And don't forget, we've got the combination of, we've got a bunch of cards here, but we've got things like the EV from Surging Sparks, which can evolve as long as it's active turn 1 or the turn you play it. We've got things like Sparkling Crystal, which turn a lot of these EVs into single energy attackers, most of them in fact, and you add those 2 cards together, and something like Flareon is a legit turn 1 going second option. It's mostly Badoo and Regigigas which are shaping up the metagame here, don't get me wrong, but some of these EVs are going to have a bit of an impact as well. But this is a set for collectors. If you are a collector, this is a phenomenal set. And there's many reasons for this, like for instance, the special illustration rare Evolutions. And we've actually already seen the Umbreon. The Umbreon has been officially revealed in English. We've seen all of them, obviously. But we've seen that one revealed in English. And then we can go and have a look. All the EVs get these. And they're all a very big deal. The Sylveon is another one which is a very big deal. That's the second biggest one after the Umbreon, but they all get them and they are all a big deal. There are 9 of these in the set. People are going to absolutely love them. But it's, and then there's a million other, there's like 30 odd special illustration rares in the set, and there are just a bunch of them out there. For me personally, I'm a huge fan of the Dragapult. But there's a bunch of them out there. Everyone's going to have their own favourites. These are awesome. The thing is, it's not just all the special illustration rares. We've also got Pokeball and Master Ball Hollows. I'm going to show you mostly Pokeballs because we've got really nice scans of those. But we have Master Ball Hollows as well. They are exactly the same as a Pokeball, except they've got a Master Ball symbol rather than a Pokeball. And for most sets, we've been looking at this going, Japan gets them and we don't. That's really upsetting. Guess I'll focus on the Japanese sets. However, that is not where we are here. It was confirmed in the press release that we are going to be getting Pokeball and Master Ball Hollows. And, something like the Master Ball Umbreon and the Master Ball Sylveon, they are the 2 biggest ones, incidentally. We know that from looking at Japan. These are going to be gigantic cards. The special illustration rares alone were going to make this a good, sought-after set worthy of your investment, your time, your effort, all of that. But then when you add in the Pokeball and Master Ball Hollows as well, this is a set which is getting dumb. Make no mistake about it, this is a very big deal. In terms of which set is better, that is a very difficult question. If you're looking for lots of cool things for collection, it's Prismatic Evolutions. But it's not a main set. It doesn't have the same number of unique cards as Surging Sparks does. And I know that's important for some people. And Surging Sparks does have the combination of like Pikachu and Latias, which are very big deals. It's for players, Surging Sparks, for collectors, Prismatic Evolutions, but I do think that both of these sets are phenomenal. But then we're getting Battle Partners, or whatever the English equivalent thereof is. And this is going to be our February or March set. Last couple of years we've been looking at March, and basically what we've got here is the biggest, most hyped set. And I don't say that lightly, but remember I've shown you a couple of videos recently where I've told you about my adventures in trying to pre-order Battle Partners. And I have pre-ordered some Battle Partners. Ain't been easy, ladies and gentlemen. I waited in the queue on the Pokemon Center for 3.5 hours. I've not had to do that before. Pokemon are opening up a second lottery to make the boxes available again. I've not known them to do that. The Japanese equivalent of Prismatic Evolutions was Terastal Festival. And that was a very hyped set, but I queued on the Pokemon Center for like 20 minutes and pre-ordered 5 boxes, which is about standard for a hyped Japanese set. That is the standard plan when a really hyped Japanese set is coming. You queue for like 20 minutes, half hour, and then you can order 5 boxes. It is not queue for 3 hours and order 1. And then it's all sold out in a few hours anyway, so a bunch of people get nothing. That is why we know for a fact that Battle Partners is a very big deal. There has not been any set since Eevee Heroes, and I've said this before and I mean it sincerely, there has not been any set since Eevee Heroes which has been so awkward to try and order from Japan. That is the level with... I'm not saying it's going to be that good of a set. I am saying that the last time I had this much trouble trying to pick up stuff from Japan was that set. Every set from them to now, I've not really struggled. I am struggling now with Battle Partners, and I buy boxes of every Japanese set. But let's take a look at some of the things from the set, and that might help to explain it. It's got trainers Pokemon. Pokemon that are being trained by particular trainers. And we've got Iono, like Iono's Bellabolt. Look at the art on Iono's Bellabolt. The other special illustration rare we've seen, by the way, is Hop Zacian, which I think is also going to be a pretty big deal. We've seen illustration rares like En's Reshiram and Iono's Kilowattrel, and we've not seen any others. We're still early in the reveal cycle for this set, although to be fair, we get the full reveal of every regular card in 2 weeks and a release in 3 weeks. They can't make us wait too much longer. But my point is, this is just what we've seen so far. You know there's going to be more coming in the not too distant future. I'm not saying there is going to be a Lily's Clefairy, but I'm saying there's a decent chance. I'm not saying there's going to be an N Zoroark. Obviously, we got the regular, special illustration rare. But I am telling you, there is a chance. This is a great set. And playability-wise, I've talked about this recently with how great this set looks. But, Iono, you've got Bellabolt, which accelerates as much lightning energy as you like during your turn. And then Kilowattrel, whereby you discard an energy from it that you've accelerated with Bellabolt, of course, and you get to draw until you got 6 cards in your hand. That's energy acceleration plus draw power. We've got Lily's cards, which there's literally a tool that says you give up 1 less prize, which is absurd. We've got Hop's cards, where Snorlax does 30 more damage. The Stadium does 30 more damage. Hop's Choice Band does 30 more damage. And then Zacian looks absolutely nuts as well. And then N Zoroark's got a built-in draw engine. Discard a card from your hand, draw 2. We've seen that before. And it can copy the attack of any of your N's Pokemon on your bench. And we got stuff like Sigilif that wins a game if you've got 1 prize card remaining. Reshiram that's got a really good Outrage attack that does 20 damage for each damage counter on you. Or Darmanitan that does 90 to the active, 90 to the bench. This seems like a set which is going to introduce multiple super strong archetypes and have huge collection cards. Now, this is where I need to ask for a little bit of caution. Because again, we've not seen a lot of Battle Partners. There is still a lot about the set we don't know. But there's also a lot of you out there that are currently making that decision of, how hard am I going on Prismatic Evolutions? Do I want to try and save some of my resources for the English version of Battle Partners? And I'm telling you, the answer is you probably do. I don't know for certain. I cannot say with absolute certainty because we don't have all the information yet. But I am telling you right now, this is the most hyped set of the past 4 years. I am telling you there are almost certainly, though not actually certainly, some special illustration rares and stuff coming in this set, which are going to be huge that we haven't seen yet. I am convinced a lot of these cards are going to be incredibly playable and massively shake up the metagame. There is so much going on here in this set, and I think Surging Sparks is a great set. I think Prismatic Evolutions is a phenomenal set for collectors, and I honestly think Battle Partners has got them beat. If you want a nice clear answer, I think, and we don't know yet, again, we're missing some information, but I think when you put these 3 side by side, I think Battle Partners is going to win out here. That's my theory. That's what I think. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think. Tell me your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions. Tell me which set you are going to be focusing on in the comment section. Good us! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.